Welcome back to the channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all of the support on this video and for future videos. Now let's get right into it. We are finally back for part 2 of this mini-series regarding Sakura season, and we will immediately be getting into Ohanami and how to catch future Sakura seasons even if you think you have missed the window after making the plan to come to Japan to enjoy it. So, starting with Ohanami, the name literally means flower viewing, but the colloquial meaning refers to gathering under cherry blossoms to enjoy their brief blooms. This tradition began in the Nara period, which is 710 to 794, and back then people actually viewed plum blossoms instead of cherry blossoms. There was a shift to cherry blossoms in the Heian period, 794 to 1185, and this was done among aristocrats. This practice spread to the common people during the Edo period, 1603 to 1868. This switch in the Edo period was a result of cherry blossom trees being widely planted around the nation. So what started as an elite pastime evolved into a nationwide seasonal tradition over the eras. Now, in practice, Ohanami is essentially having a picnic directly underneath the sakura trees. Blue tarps seem to be a lot more popular than the traditional picnic blankets Westerners might be imagining, and I suspect that is largely for logistical purposes such as them being waterproof and easy to clean. Groups will often send a member ahead of the party to reserve their space under the sakura trees with the blue tarps, at which point the rest of the group will show up as soon as possible when they get off work, school, or otherwise finish the obligations of their daily lives. As mentioned earlier, Sakura season is something enjoyed by almost everyone far and wide, so you will see a diverse bunch of groups out at the park for Ohanami. Some of these groups include families where even the grandparents and more rarely the great-grandparents join, despite having enjoyed many Ohanami in their time. You can also find university student groups in good numbers, high school student groups in smaller numbers, and salarymen and women that come together as a group from their offices as colleagues. Everyone will bring something to contribute to the occasion, whether it's food, snacks, drinks, candy, etc. They will sit, eat, drink, talk, and sometimes play games well into the night, as enjoying the sakura trees by lantern light is another special event called Yozakura. The cherry blossoms often just become an excuse for family and friends to gather for these parties, even though the cherry blossoms are obviously appreciated for their beauty. In the big and popular parks, where many like to gather for Ohanami, you will often find that people set up food and game stalls, street performers will come and gather crowds, and other festival-related things take place in and around the park for the occasion. This transforms parks from places where people gather for Ohanami to semi-festival grounds that go from morning until late into the night, when the last call for trains usually sends everyone running home. Now, to get into our second and final point, this comes from my own personal experience of coming to Japan numerous times and just missing cherry blossoms by being too early or too late. However, there are ways to salvage the situation if you are one of those like me that had to book tickets in advance and pray to land in the right window. If you are someone that has the means to book tickets last minute, then you don't really have to worry about missing Sakura season. But for those that need to schedule time off work and budget and save and book things in advance, this information might be of use to you. As I mentioned before, the sakura trees are very susceptible to breeze, which is why I asked viewers not to shake or touch the trees. The sakura trees also entirely depend on the weather and temperature to bloom. So cherry blossom season is not all at the same time throughout Japan. In southern parts of Japan, where it gets warmer first, cherry blossoms bloom first and fall first. Japan basically experiences a rolling bloom across the nation, starting in the south where it gets warm first and moving up across the country to the north. This means that just because the area you are in hasn't started or has already ended sakura season, it doesn't mean all hope is lost. If sakura season hasn't started where you are, then try to go south where it's warmer. This is not unfeasible given Japan's public transportation system, so that opportunity is actually something very doable if you're serious about catching sakura season. Likewise, if sakura season has already ended where you are, then try to go north, where areas should be in full bloom or just entering full bloom. It's not impossible to make a day trip to a completely different province or region of Japan, given the Shinkansen routes, so don't give up hope just yet. Even though sakura season has ended where I am now, it is just beginning in the areas north of me, so I might check it out during Golden Week, which is coming up soon. Now, that's enough out of me. Enjoy the footage, and hopefully you can come for future sakura seasons. Peace.